Hey Flosstube, I am Michelle. This is my romantic tangle, and it is Valentine's Day 2021. My husband is working tonight, and the boys are off enjoying the fact that our internet and phone service are back. So I have the front of the house to myself, and I've got projects to show you. We have to. You knew that it was going to be first evening in their new house or first evening in their own home. I love this. And this has confirmed that I am really bad at judging what I will or won't want to stitch. For a couple of years now, I have been avoiding things that have lots of cream and white and gray because Little Girl with Cosmos had that wonderful gray dress that took forever. A Little Girl's Fancy has the curtains that I am still not done stitching and don't know when I will get done stitching. And All Is Calm has a lot of snow. I have a lot of projects with a lot of snow. I think that comes with stitching landscapes. So given the fact that I am not picking out more projects with white and off-white and cream and beige, why am I enjoying this tablecloth? I don't know how I am enjoying this tablecloth, but you know, I'm not going to argue with it. Since the last time I showed this to you, I've got his hand and her shoulder, and this is one of those projects where you really have to step back a bit and look at it, because up close I cannot appreciate that this is a hand. Once I am more than 3 inches away from my fabric, it looks a whole lot better. Doing this for the Stitching Stories with Riola's Stitch Along, I am having all kinds of fun on it. I have made progress every week, and I think since the last time I posted pictures of it, I've done everything above here and some more tablecloth. It's my favorite stitchy project, or it would be, except I can't be a totally monogamous stitcher apparently. And I can't only work on Riola's projects, so I had pulled out European Bistro. Got some more of the window, got some more of that fantastic whatever is going on inside this building. I love it. And so much of this is half stitches, and it is going so quickly that I got thinking, well, maybe I should pull out Morning Lake, because I've got a good chunk of Morning Lake, and a good chunk of what is left to do is half stitches. So last night I pulled it out and spent a couple hours and did a lot of half cross stitches, and then I did some fiddling, filling in little empty spots on the dock and in the windows, and I am just tickled with the progress I made. And then I had planned to start When I Am Dead and in My Grave in February, and I just haven't done it. Sometimes getting up and walking across the room and getting the pattern off the printer, which I know is not hard. This should not be an obstacle, but it was. And in the meantime, I had put away the thread and couldn't remember where, and I don't know what I've got going on here. I had put away the thread and couldn't remember where. I had put away the fabric I pulled for it and couldn't remember where. This is not the fabric I pulled for it. This is something else I found this morning. And I started stitching. In the few minutes I had before I needed to start dinner, I started stitching. And that is the tiniest little bit of a corner, but I like it. And I don't know what this fabric is. It is even weave. I know that. It is an ivory color. I know that. I am guessing that it is 28 count. But it could be something else, and I really don't care. I did the math, and if it is 28 count, my fabric is big enough. If it is higher than 28 count, my fabric is still big enough. So either way, it's going to work. I'm using DMC number 9, which I fell in love with after stitching the fox in a dress and bought a bunch of it and want to use it for everything, which I'm not using it for everything because that would be ridiculous, but I'm using it for this. It is When I Am in My Grave by Dark Crosses. I bought it off of Etsy. And it says, "This work my friends may have when I am dead and in my grave." And then it has the alphabet and room for a name and a year. And after doing the acceptance sampler by Bendy Stitchy, I really wanted to do another sampler. It's just taken a few months for me to process that in my head and get to where I'm actually stitching on it. I don't know if it looks like it because it's a lot of hours on a few projects, but I've stitched a lot this week and I am still feeling really good about my stitching, which I'm not arguing with that. I hope the picture isn't crooked. One of my beloved sons decided that they needed to totally readjust my camera tripod. Now, of course, they don't know how to get it back to where they put it, and I get it at the height I need for this couch, and I don't mess with it, so. And there's a piece broken, so I have like got the equivalent of a matchbox wedged under the leg of a chair, trying to get the picture even. I think I'm close. I might not be perfect. I did what I could. I went out to the barn on Monday, maybe, to get some old quilts that I thought were in my great-grandmother's trunk out there. They were. And it got me thinking about the polyester quilts, and they're ugly. It is not my fabric of choice, but they are warm. And then when they were made by your grandma, it just gives them a special quality. I've got some polyester quilts I got at estate sales that I also really like, but my threshold for estate sale polyester quilts is way higher than my threshold for grandma made it quilts. I did a video about the quilts and got some comments about other people's grandmas making polyester quilts and got thinking, and it just popped into my head this family story that had been going around. When I was about 8 years old, my great-grandma was walking down to the Waterfront Festival in West Salem, all by herself because she had a tendency to do that. She was in her 90s. And we were driving a couple of years ago to go to a bookstore down there, and my little sister, after Grandma fell for years, that's the corner where Grandma fell. It's one of those little kid landmarks that's stuck in her head. So the corner where Grandma fell has been seared in my memory. And I don't know why it took me 30 some years to realize that the corner where Grandma fell, in relationship to the apartment where Grandma lived on her own at that time, that must be 4 miles. It was a long distance. She fell, she broke her knee, the ambulance came, they took her to the emergency room, and for some reason, I don't know why, it was a big deal that they had to cut Grandma's pants off of her, and I don't know why that was a big deal. If it was a cautionary, this is why you wear clean underwear sort of story they told the little kids or what, but I remember when she came home, the folded up pair of pants that were slit up the leg, and I forgot about it because that's one of those things. Thought about it again after my husband was in his hellacious car accident and they didn't have to cut his pants off. But I got to wondering, this quilt that my grandma made had leftovers from pantsuits that she had made for my great-grandma. And I had an idea what that pair of pants looked like, and I called my mom, didn't tell her why, asked her what color the pants Grandma was wearing that they cut off of her were. And she described the print. This right here, it is a baby blue with a really subtle raised corrugated stripe. That is the leftover fabric from the pair of pants that my great-grandma was wearing when she fell and broke her knee and had to go to the hospital and get her pants cut off. I am the only one, except for possibly my mom, who finds this to be an interesting family story. I wish that there were more stories to go with these fabrics because that would be awesome. But it's the one I've got, and I am ridiculously sentimental about things. got any quilts with weirder stories than that one? Because I would love to hear them, to know I'm not the only one who is this strange. We're still bird watching. We went for a drive and saw in the ditch, chewing on something, a bald eagle, and he was, by bald eagle standards, he was big. About 4 feet away from him was another bird that was a whole lot bigger than the bald eagle, so we don't know if it was a golden eagle. We were in a place where golden eagles might be. So that's the second time this year we've seen it might be a golden eagle. I don't know what it is. I'm not a good bird watcher. It has to be like a mallard duck or a bald eagle with a white head for me to confidently say, yep, that's what that is. And we've got bird books and all that, but when you're driving down the highway, you can't exactly stop and look it up and confirm feather patterns. The weather here in Oregon has just been weird. My sister hasn't had power since yesterday. My folks are over in Sisters and they've got a foot of snow. I'm here at my place in the foothills at a higher elevation than Salem is, and it's 41 degrees. It's wet. It will not stop raining, but we have no snow. We have no ice. I am just deeply confused by the whole thing, and I am not complaining. It's just Friday night I drove my son to work. It was already down to 34 degrees, and there was a ton of standing water on the highway. I was just dreading picking him up in the morning. Except for this new commute thing. I don't drive when the weather is iffy. But you can't make your kid stay home from work because mommy is afraid it might be icy in the morning, although I was seriously tempted, and I am seriously glad I didn't, because I got up in the morning, was dreading going out to my car. Got out there, it is 41 degrees and wet. We did yesterday have no phone and no internet for most of the day, and it's the cell phone signals are out. In the landline, I have phone landline but no internet connection, so it's isolating, and I should not complain because I've got drivable roads, I've got power, I am fine, but not being able to check and see if it's supposed to freeze, it makes me uncomfortable, and it shouldn't. I am a big girl. I don't like it. I don't think I'm super dependent on my phone, but not having communication outside my house really rattles me a bit. It came back about 10 o'clock last night. We've had internet and phone most of the day, and then it cut out again, and then it came back again. So I am filming this, and if it can upload, I will upload it. If it goes out again, I will upload it when I can upload it. I hope this weather isn't affecting you. I hope my friends who I know are without power have their power back. We are running the wood stove just because it was supposed to be really cold. They keep predicting snow and ice, and I keep preparing for snow and ice because our power here goes out at the drop of a hat, and we're on a well, or we're on a storage tank, so if the power goes, the water goes, and it just kind of snowballs into a set of challenges that I'm perfectly capable of handling. I just have been keeping my ducks in a row, and then this weather never materializes, so they need to either stop crying wolf or I will stop paying attention, because how many nights can they say it's going to snow and it doesn't snow? I hope you're well. I hope you're having as much fun with your stitching as I am with mine. I am Michelle. This is my romantic tangle, and I will be back with you soon.